You're this perp back with another video, and now there's been some interesting debates going on ever since Guardians 3 has dropped over this past weekend. I've been saying for months, even going back like last year, that once Guardians 3 drops, people are going to start switching up and falling in love with the MCU once again. But that aside, definitely go check out my Guardians 3 review and also my live discussion that I had. We had some dope panelists on there. We had a great discussion about the movie. And one of the things that have come up as far as this discussion goes, and I want to shout out Anzo from Big Afford Entertainment. He's the one that really sparked this discussion or this debate, is Kang versus the High Evolutionary. Who's the better villain? And a lot of people on the panel made a lot of good points on why he should be considered top 5. I have my reasonings, and I'm going to get into it, and maybe you can see where I'm coming from. But if you just like him as an overall villain, that's fine. I'm not trying to sway you or anything. I'm just trying to, play along with this debate and just see where I'm coming from with this, and maybe this might change your mind and look at things differently. So let's talk about Kang, and I do find it kind of ironic, with Jonathan Majors going through all these allegations, people are so quick to just replace him, you know what I'm saying, before his trial even comes up, which is coming up tomorrow, something like that. So we'll have to wait and see with that. That aside, Jonathan Majors, I think, has done a great job playing Kang, and also He Who Remains. And just the idea of Kang, to me, is interesting because he's not just one person, There's multiple versions of him, some weaker than others, some more powerful than others. But the thing that sticks out to me the most is the fact that he's a multiversal threat compared to the High Evolutionary, where I think he's just really planetary. He's not no threat to the universe. I never got this he's on Thanos's level, which he doesn't need to be, because not every villain needs to be at that level. But we're just talking about Kang versus the High Evolutionary. The High Evolutionary is more of a Guardians threat. And I don't even think he was that big of a threat to the Guardians. He was more so a threat to Rocket and what he was trying to do. And his whole motive was just being perfect and perfection, the mad scientist. Where you have Kang, where he's having a lot of just battles with himself, literally. And he wants to conquer. He wants to get to that point where he needs to be at that He Who Remains type of level, where it's just one left. And I find that very much more appealing and more devastating than somebody like the High Evolutionary. Yes, he was very cruel to animals and he was experimenting on them. That's really about it when it comes to his villainy. You know what I'm saying? When you get to the end of Guardians 3, which, spoilers if you haven't watched it, he gets his ass washed by the Guardians. Not only the Guardians, but he gets beat by Rocket twice, technically. Now, I know people are going to come around and say that, oh, Kang got beat by ants, which I really hate this debate, because he got dragged away with ants. He didn't get beat by the ants. I don't know where people are getting this from. And him getting sucked into a multiversal core does not mean that he's dead. That means that, this is just another way to access the multiverse. So he's definitely going to pop back up, most likely in Secret Wars or at the end of Kang Dynasty. So I think a lot of people are really downplaying Kang, in my opinion. And seeing his feats and seeing what he's going to do and what he has done, it's interesting, because just go back and rewatch the end of Loki and just pay attention to the dialogue. It's like he already knows how it's going to end. It's like everything is falling into place where it's going to be hard for the Avengers and other people to defeat him because, for one, not that many people know about Kang because he comes from a completely different time. But the people that do know about him, you know what I'm saying, understand what he's capable of. And that's another thing that he has over a lot of different characters, is the element of surprise. Because he could pop up at anywhere where you think that he's defeated, and then he pops back up and starts wreaking havoc again. And that's what I'm just trying to get at, where it's like you could make a good argument that the High Evolutionary was a little bit more menacing up until a point. Like, I think just up until a point, it's just like, this guy, to me, when I look at the High Evolutionary, the actor was really dope. Really dope. I'm not taking away from him, but he's just not, this guy wouldn't be able to antagonize the Avengers and these other heroes because he's already struggling with the Guardians. You know what I'm saying? So that's where kind of my mentality is with the High Evolutionary compared to Kang, where, like I said, he has that element of surprise. Not too many people know about him. You know what I'm saying? But he has gone around killing different Avengers, destroying timelines. His other variants, you know what I'm saying, have been destroying timelines and creating incursions and stuff. So, like, all of that, to me, is just way more impactful because this guy could actually change things within the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, where the High Evolutionary was only affecting things on one part of the galaxy. Like, Captain Marvel could have easily just came up in this movie and just destroyed the High Evolutionary and stopped all the stuff that he was doing, which makes me think, like, if she's sitting there, you know, around the galaxy, why wasn't this a big priority? But I guess that's MCU shit. That's a whole nother discussion. But I want to know y'all thoughts on this. Who do you think was a better villain, Kang or the High Evolutionary? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, I'm out.